I can't escape a high school fling from 8 years ago. She finds me no matter what I do. Over 8 years ago I was best friends with Regina. At the time we were in high school and she was going through a lot. Regina's mother died after giving birth to her and her father died a few years later to a drug addiction. So she stayed with her grandparents who both died of complications while we were in high school. Regina had no other family other than her older sister who was barely around and always brought different grown men home who would assault Regina. Regina had it very hard and it heavily affected her mental health. She was severely underweight, had often cut, and was scared to be alone. Despite all this I tried my best to be by her side. In addition to our friendship I was romantically interested in her, so I gave the relationship a lot of effort. We spent almost every moment together, and to anyone else we would have appeared to be dating. And frankly I thought that she felt the same way about me. She would kiss me, and sit on my lap. She made me feel special, but would always tell other people, "Oh no, we're not dating." So I was very confused. I suppose the nail in the coffin was when I finally asked Regina herself what this relationship truly was, and she told me that she had a boyfriend this whole time but she still loved me. After that I thought it would be best if her and I went our separate ways, but she threatened suicide and I was worried she'd actually do it, so I stayed one more year. Eventually though I decided that despite knowing that she had almost no one and desperately needed help, I wasn't going to be the one to help her. Not if it compromised my mental health. So I went complete no contact on her. And tried my best to move on and forget about her. For the first few years I didn't block her, I just ignored her messages. Maybe that was because secretly I felt like maybe I'd go back to her, but I don't know. Every 2 weeks, and I seriously mean every 2 weeks, for the first 2 years she would send me a text message about how much she loved and missed me and gave me a small update about her life. I ignored every single one. Until one day a girl I was dating at the time saw the message pop up on my phone and was curious about the situation. I explained it to her and she thought it was funny. So she decided to send a picture of her and I kissing to Regina while I wasn't looking, to see how she would react. I knew from then on things would be fucked. Regina immediately started texting and calling, happy to know I was alive but sad to see I was with another woman. So for the first time in all those years I decided to call her. And the call was very heavy. She told me that she had been essayed in college and was struggling with depression and suicide. She said that I was her light that kept her sane and that she thought about me every day. She told me she desperately needed me back in her life because she can't trust anyone like she trusted me. I told her I couldn't do it, not after what she did to me. I wasn't willing to come back into her life. She cried so much, and I hung up on her. This time I blocked her on everything. To this day she makes new accounts to reach out to me and has old mutual friends reach out to me on her behalf. I have since deleted all my social media, changed addresses, but she still always finds me. I have received letters to my home, despite none of her friends knowing where I live. I receive constant emails from unknown accounts asking for forgiveness. How should I handle this situation? And what would you do if you were in my shoes? Comment. You make it clear that you no longer want to engage, and that you will forward all messages to the police and pursue a no-contact order if it does not stop. If it does not stop, you get the police involved. It's much easier than it sounds. I helped a friend out a few years ago with it. At least in most states. I'm not sure where you live, but we just had to go to the courthouse and fill out some paperwork. Some states require more proof than others. You need to have proof of you telling them to stop and the continued messages. If you can, print out the messages you've received previously and bring them with you. Bring anything you can to demonstrate the pattern. I would not initiate the interaction. If, more like when, she reaches out again, you need to put it in writing that you no longer wish to be contacted and will pursue legal action moving forward. You have a stalker. Her life has been tragic, but that doesn't make years of harassment okay. You may consider reaching out to domestic violence resources near you. She may be a woman, but she's still a former romantic partner that's harassing you, and they could help you figure out what steps to take for a restraining order. Talk with your partner about this so her craziness does not break the relationship. Talk with a lawyer to see the options you have, maybe a restraining order. Cut with old circles you are no longer active with to avoid her to reach you through them, and talk with the friends you have about this issue to avoid them sharing your contact info without consulting you first. You have a stalker. Either one of your mutual friends is giving up your info, or a family member is. I would suggest contacting your local PD and filing a restraining order. It's been too many years for her to still be hung up on you. You may be thinking that my suggestion is harsh, but I think it might be good for her. She needs help, not a relationship with you. Honestly, my dude, gender neutral dude, it ain't that hard. Start giving them interest and attention and pester them constantly. Dude, gross things. They will give up on the obsessive idea of you and loathe you. Works every time. Story 2. My girlfriend and I might be incompatible. How can I be better? I've been dating this girl Claudia for close to 4 years. Everything started off great, rose-tinted glasses and all that, but things have started getting harder and harder as time goes by. We've discussed our issues several times. She is usually the one to start these much-needed conversations, but lately we both feel extremely undervalued/underappreciated in our relationship. She is very outgoing, loves people, is kind, genuine and fun, and overall a great person to be around. I feel like I am the same, although a bit more boring and homey. The main issue Claudia has is that I'm not exciting her. I'm her first boyfriend and she expects me to be someone who plans getaways, surprises her constantly, takes her to try new things and meet new people. I am not good at these things. I am the first person to say yes to any plan, but I can't for the life of me come up with something on a regular or semi-regular basis. I also enjoy spending time with friends and family. We live close to my family and hers is a few hours away, and she joined my friend group, as her friends are more dispersed. Although we do obviously also spend time with them, the majority of time is spent with people she might consider mine, which she feels we do too much and are having the routine of a 50-year-old married couple, not one in their 20s. I try to come up with things, but I'm a people pleaser. It's something I'm trying to work on but clearly not succeeding. And obviously she's the person I want to please the most. This means I apparently push off all decisions onto her, which she told me today is exhausting. I'll try to be more assertive, don't want her to feel like my boss or my mom, ew. Over time, our intimate life became virtually non-existent. I often suffer from PE, and admittedly let the nerves and disappointment get to me, lasting from 30s to a couple of minutes regularly, and only sometimes getting above 4. This makes intimate a bit depressing for me, which means I don't make it as good for her as I should. I bought toys for her a few months back to try and help with this but haven't had the chance to use them. All of these feelings made her mention one day that she wants to bring someone else into the bedroom, as she's only ever been with me, and feels unsatisfied. Obviously this was a big blow to my ego at first, and although eventually I understood her position, that's not something I'm comfortable with. Call me old-fashioned, but that's how I see a long-term relationship. As for me, I am someone who loves physical affection, and overall just spending time with her just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. I love back and head scratches, lying on her lap or her on mine, and overall just physical contact. She's not very keen on giving me that, as that's not how she shows affection. She's more into gift giving and big gestures. Sorry for the dump, but basically I don't know where to go from here. I'm going to try to be more assertive with decision making, try to think of ways to make things more exciting, could use some idea here, and try to communicate better when I feel unheard. Something I again struggle with. I would appreciate your advice here. What can I do? How can I change so I can keep Claudia by my side? Thank you so much for reading and appreciate your responses. Comment. All of these feelings made her mention one day that she wants to bring someone else into the bedroom, as she's only ever been with me, and feels unsatisfied. Dump her before she dumps you. Your relationship is over, you just don't know it yet. Not being good at planned outings is an easy fix. I could give you examples right now. Making yourself more outgoing is going to be a problem. You might be able to figure something out, but it will be uncomfortable. Your performance in the bedroom is just practice and technique hurdles. Her wanting another person in the relationship is a no-go. Especially if you're not into it. Her reasoning being she hasn't been with other people? No. I am sorry for you, but this relationship is no longer viable. I don't know that it was going to be a problem from the start or if it grew from your little crop of problems, but once it gets this far it doesn't really turn back. You two are just primed for the catalyst to cause the breakup. Whether it's acknowledging you're done, a big fight, or her cheating, it's coming. Story 3. How do I get over my boyfriend cheating on me after he apologized and never repeated it? We have been in a relationship for about 3 years now, and the first incident happened last year where a girl gave him a hickey and he told me about it himself because he felt guilty. In his defense, he was too drunk and he swore he didn't approach her nor do anything back. The incident which bothered me even more happened 8 months ago, where I caught him with a girl dry humping him at a club in his Snapchat gallery. When I asked him about it, he just laughed it off, thinking as if it was completely normal and I was overreacting. When I told him not to let any girl in his vicinity at a club, he answered with, "What's the use of me going to a club then?" I was shocked at his audacity and told him straight away that he was never allowed to go clubbing again because he has broken my trust, and this is straight up cheating in my book. Meanwhile, if a guy even talks to me in a professional setting, he accuses me of wanting male attention, which is extremely disrespectful because I am a very modest woman. Anyways, I have ranted and cried to him about it from time to time, and he has apologized to me a lot and hasn't done anything like that again as far as I know. However, other issues in our relationship trigger me and lead me to those past incidents, which has led me to have anger issues now. I have generally had trust issues with men, but he completely shattered my trust now. These thoughts eat me up almost every night, no matter how hard I try to ignore them. I used to be the softest person and loved him so much, but honestly, I act like a bitch with him now and have major mood swings because him cheating on me in the past is deeply embedded in my subliminal part of brain. I feel guilty every time I do that, because what if he actually regrets the acts he did and is sincerely apologizing? I just don't know what to do. Comment. Do you see yourself marrying him and having his kids, all while your body changes? Do you see him as a supportive partner in all this? There's your answer. That's because when the so hurts you, it's not a one-person job to get over it. First of all, you guys need to have a very serious conversation about it, then it's his job to prove that you can trust him, and then it's you that needs to listen to the feelings you're left with after his actions, and they're always louder than words. Stop focusing on what others think about your relationship. They're not the ones that got all their trust shattered by the person that apparently so very much loves them. It's you. I have never gotten myself so drunk I would cheat on, and I have gotten pretty fucked up in the past. I just never understood this excuse.